Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome on in to another Bronco Nation Live. Hope you're doing well wherever you're watching from tonight. We've got teams stacking conference momentum, teams learning hard lessons, and some real questions about we're thinking about as we head deeper into March. If you're watching on YouTube, hop on into the chat with your questions and hot takes, and we'll work those into the show. So let's get into it. As always, I'm joined by my co-host from Sam Talk Sports, Sam Gillette. How the heck are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Nick. March Madness full underway, and gotta say, I started out great with TCU win. It hasn't gone so great since then. But we're gonna jump into some track and field. We're also gonna talk a little bit of men's and women's tennis, and I'll round out some golf before we talk a little pro day at the end of the day. So jumping right into the track and field. We had both Kaya Robertson and Landon Helms were at the National Indoor Track and Field in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Robertson was the first Bronco female qualifier since 2023 and the first in the mile since 2019. She earned second team All American honors, finishing fourth place in the mile with a time of 4:40:33. Marks the second All American honor of her track career after earning All American honorable mention in the 2025 Outdoor Championships. Helms, he uh, was the Mountain West Heptathlon champion. He also earned second team All American honors when he finished 15th with a score of 4,179. And of course, he did earn his second team All American honors as well for the second time in his career. It marks the first time a male and female Boise State student athlete have both earned All American honors at the same indoor national championship since 2012. So the track and field getting rolling out there. Robertson is the third Bronco in program history to compete in the mile at the indoor championships, and Helms is the second Bronco in program history to compete in the heptathlon in the NCAA indoor champions. Wasn't quite the results that Coach Pat McCurry was hoping for, but hey, uh, they got there. They're better than 90% of the country, so that's nothing to shy away from. Nick, what's going on in the sand?
Yeah, and I think that Coach Andy's doing a great job. They're starting from scratch. He wanted to reinvent this thing, and I think they've done really well. Over in beach volleyball, it's all about the same kind of stuff that Coach Andy's doing, and that is building momentum. And they are climbing mountains ahead. So the Boise State beach volleyball had a strong showing at the Carolina Challenge. They went 3-1 on the weekend and pushing their season record to 7-5. With the only loss coming in a tight 3-2 battle against number 20 South Carolina. What stood out to me here wasn't just the wins, but how they won. We had one of our favorites, Serena Vandermeid, who was recently on one of our Bronco talks. Her and Allison Alden, they went a perfect 4-0, and together they have improved to a 9-3 overall record with the 8-0 from court number 2. This is the second weekend that they've gone undefeated in this early season. Ava Anderson and Addison Walden, they went 3-1, tying a program record with 29 career wins as a pair. So Boise State recorded 2 sweeps and showed real lineup depth across all 5 courts. But here's the bigger picture question I want to just throw out there to the universe. When a program starts winning close matches and winning comfortably in the same weekend, what do you think that tells you about where the program's heading? And I think it's a poignant question because they just started Big 12 play. So what do you think? What does this say to you by that showing?
It says that they're ready for the big dogs. I mean, especially
And
if you pull out the close wins, that's only gonna come in handy come championship time. You'll be battle tested, and you get down or you get in them close battles, you can come out on top.
yeah, and um, they did face South Carolina, who is number 20. It's in their same conference. Like I said, Serena Vandermeid and Allison Alden, they won that match. That was a kind of a historic win. It was their first legit win as part of the Big 12 conference by those two. They're doing awesome. Um, and they've met some really good challenge so far in this young season, but you better hatch everything down because it's going to get ramped up this weekend. And that starts tomorrow in Baton Rouge for the Death Volley Invitational, facing 4 ranked
Mm.
opponents. They kick it off with number 9 California, and then through the course of Friday and Saturday they will be taking on Georgia State, and then number 6 Florida State, and then they'll be capping off the invitational with number 12 LSU. So some major opponents, and major tests. This will be one of the toughest weekends of the season, if not the toughest. We thought that Cal Poly that weekend was tough. This is going to be tough, and this is really going to show us. Should show us. So, how do you measure progress? Is it by wins alone, or by how a team handles being tested like this? I think that will be the question coming out of this weekend. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they went from, "All right, we're a pretty good beach volleyball team," to, "All right, the sand's on fire now. It's time to put up and shut up."
Yep.
Are they still receiving votes?
I haven't seen anything that they have, but if they put a good showing in here, they've got to be. They certainly got to
Yeah.
be. And I'll do some homework here, and I'll have an answer by next week when we hit Bronco Nation Live.
Right. I do wanna mention now that we got some people in here, if you haven't subbed, go ahead and sub. You wanna help Boise State and the NIL, you need to do this. I mean, it's easy. It's free. If you don't have the cash to do it yourself, this is how you do it for free. Subscribe to the channel. We need 258 more subscribers plus 4,000 watch hours yearly to be able to go full monetization. When we fully monetize, that money goes to the Boise State NIL. When you watch any program on this channel, any video on this channel, that goes to Boise State once we get full monetized. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog's pet goldfish to subscribe to Bronco Nation Live or Bronco Nation updates on YouTube. And let's get us up over 1,000 so we can get fully monetized. And then watch all the videos, do all the things, and have some fun with us. We got a lot of cool videos up. We got bourbon beer, basketball, and football. We got the college football roundtable. We've got Bronco Nation Live. We got Bronco Talks. We've got recruiting roundup shows. There's a lot of good information. And just tonight, I've recorded a few bourbon beer and basketball one-on-ones. We'll get those put up on there as well, so you can watch those little shorts, about 10 minutes long, going against with some of our panel members and some of their picks that have had good and bad showings. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of good content coming up, and already there. So it's there for your liking. Uh, Speaking of there for your liking, Boise State men's tennis ranked 61 in the nation. Uh, Took down Cal Poly this weekend for their second rate win of the year or of the season, I should say. They won 4-1. Um, they've won their last 4 matches over Cal Poly as well, leading the all time series 10-3. And then they went on and played Montana State and beat them handedly. Their 28th straight match over Montana State, they won, extending their lead 51-7 all time. Carson Baker and Avery Tallickson picked up their 15th and 16th double wins of the season in this one. Stuart Aronson and Philip Soderquist were undefeated on court 2 as a pair, boasting a 6-0 record. The duo also has won 9 straight matches together. They are on fire. Lucas Bellick has won 10 single matches in a row as well. That all happened on Friday, the 13th, picking up both those victories. Then they rolled that over into Saturday, where they split with number 38, uh, Santa Clara. Just couldn't quite get that one pulled off. Santa Clara's pretty good, not gonna lie. They ended up falling 4-1, but then they rebounded with a 4-3 victory over DePaul. Um, Broncos had just second ever meeting between Boise State and DePaul, and they lead the series 2-0. They did drop their seventh meeting or seventh all-time matchup to Santa Clara, though. Boise State still leads that series 11-7. Again, Carson Baker and Avery Talixon defeated the number 27 pair, Luca Blewett and John Kim from Santa Clara. Again, they're just on fire. You can't take them down. Kuruda notched his 20th single win of the season as well, the first Bronco to do so, and Seifert grabbed his 10th duels win in a single of the season. Uh, the tennis team hosts Nevada March 20th. That's tomorrow at 5
And
o'clock Mountain Time.
and normally one would think that Friday the 13th is kind of unlucky, but it really wasn't for Avery Talix. It wasn't for Avery Talixon because he notched the Mountain West Player of the Week.
Nice. Very nice. And over on the women's tennis side, they picked up a pair of wins, steamrolled Colorado State fairly easily. They've won 8 consecutive dual matches, 5 of which were sweeps. Boise State has won 9 consecutive matches against Mountain West opponents, top of the Mountain West. Boise State has swept their first sweep to open conference play since 2023 when they swept Nevada 4-0. Zadina earned her 27th career singles victory in this one, at the number one spot as a Bronco, moving into 4th place all time in program history. But wait, there's more, because they went on to win a thriller over Wyoming. And the women, they're no slouch either. Ranked 68 in the nation, beat Wyoming 4-3. They've now won, let's see, 28. Zadina's won 28 career singles victories at the number one spot. Still 4th most in the program history. Carla Grignac improved to a team best 9-1 in singles this spring. And Boise State's top doubles team, Teresa Polakova and Zadina Safarova. Love tennis names, man. They've won 5 straight. Boise State has won 10 consecutive matches against Mountain West opponent. The last two against Hawaii. They return to action against number 57 Grand Canyon on March 20th, again tomorrow, 11 a.m., and number 25 San Diego State on March 22nd at 10 a.m. Both matches will be played at the Appleton Tennis Center. Going to be a fun one. I can't wait to watch it if it's on Mountain West Network. I don't know that it will be, but I'll see the updates otherwise. 2 ranked matches. Not top 25, 1 top 25, but 2 ranked matches coming up this weekend for the Boise State women.
And it's been an ongoing theme with women's tennis and Zadina Safarova, just how dominant she is. She earned she was honored Mountain West Player of the Week. That's her 5th career honor. She just cruises when it comes to this program. Beck Ragar is now the winningest coach in program history. So when a team keeps winning close matches and the way that this program does, to the point that it's basically consistency, it's almost stopped being a goal. Is this? What do you think? Do you think this is should this level of achievements that coaches establish? Should this just start being an expectation, or is this just it can't be luck. It's got to be culture, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, they really. I mean, even before I started paying notice to all of Boise State sports, I've always heard about the tennis program, at least in recent memory. It may not have always been like that, but they have a really strong foundation. You don't thing I like about these Olympic sports is 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get someone from their freshman to senior year. There's not the nil demand for them. There's not anyone shelling out millions of dollars to have them come play for them. So you really get that foundation that you build on, and that promotes recruiting and everything. So I'm excited to see how they do this weekend. It's really going to tell the tale of if they are as good as they think they are, or if they're playing pretender. And I think they
And
are
I,
as good as they think they are.
and I think you got Zadina is probably that cornerstone that they have right now. I feel like you asked me last week, you know when the basketball teams went down, like who would surprise you, and it's like I was thinking like, well, tennis wouldn't surprise me if they took a conference championship because they're so damn good, and it makes me think about the foundation that this program was actually blessed by the late um, Micron founder Steve Appleton. He really pumped in a lot of money into this program to get it started way back when, and Coach has really just been. I think if Appleton was around, he'd be really proud of what Coach is
Oh yeah, for
doing
sure.
here. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we have some softball back in town. Let's cover what happened since last Bronco Nation Live. They had some road grits, and now they have a home opportunity. Baseball, love baseball.
We want it. We want it, Boise State.
Yeah.
Let it happen.
Yep. So Boise State softball went 1-2 at Nevada. Really need to win these conference series, but they did push Nevada to the limit. The defending conference champions, but they did. Nevada took that series 2-1 to open up Mountain West play. This week was really about how they responded after dropping the series finale in Reno. The Broncos bounced back with a double header sweep versus Sac State. Pitching carried the day. That was on Tuesday, on St. Patty's Day. Lula Ray McNamara recorded 3-inning saves in both games. She becomes the first Bronco since 2018 to save both ends of a doubleheader. So making some history for the freshman. Boise State limited Sacramento to only 9 total hits across both of those games. At the plate, Quinn Sutherland went 5 for 7, and freshman Caitlin Galasso and Grace Peffley both recorded their first career hits. I believe Grace Peffley had a double. So what matters more in conference play? Is it a perfect start? Learning how to win after a tough loss. They're coming out of this series. You really want to win each and every one of these series is it's really important, because if you win every series in conference, you have a really good chance at winning the regular season and hosting next year's tournament. So what do you think is more important? A perfect start, like if they could have came out and swept them, or learning from this and then just really punishing from here on out?
Oh, definitely punish from here on out.
And that's what we're looking for, because when you think about punishment, you think about Fresno State, and they're coming to town. And if there's anybody that I love to see a good old fashioned ass kicking, it is Fresno State. Football, softball, it doesn't matter. As a fan, I've I've had my experiences with fans in Bronco Stadium and at the DLP. They're just different. Those fans are just different, and so they come to town. The Bulldogs come into town. Game one is tomorrow night at 6 at the Donna Larson Park. So Bronco Nation, it's the only event in town. Go catch a game, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Plenty. Last time I checked, there's plenty of room in the outfield. So hit one of our social links. The link to the tickets are right on those. Just click on that, or go to broncosports.com in the ticket area and find softball. Grab one of those. So one of my expectations, because I really want them to do well in conferences, and this kind of goes back to what we talk about in basketball, is championship teams win conference home games. And so that's what I'm looking for with this young team. I have, they're very young, but I do have some high expectations for them, especially coming off of this young season with a couple top 13 wins over some powerhouse programs out there. So, so looking forward to seeing them sweep the Dogs. It's wishful thinking on my part, but I think that, you really gotta go into that mindset with that, going into these home games as championship teams win those home games. So, well, when we come back, we will cover some more sports from Boise State.
Music and creativity come alive at Loretta's Music Studio. Loretta Dorn combines the joy of making music with the art of crafting beautiful wreaths and creations. Whether you're learning an instrument or adding handmade charm to your home, Loretta Studio is where inspiration meets tradition. For more information, go to the Serving Bronco Nation directory.
All right, and we're back. So why don't we talk some golf? How's that sound?
Sure. Oh boy, I'm a weekend warrior golfer. I golf consistently in the triple digits. So the women had a chilly one. It still gives me chills just thinking about it. Down here in Texas, they were in Austin at the Betsy Rawls Invitational. It was cold in Texas. We had tornadoes Sunday night, and it gave way to that cold front that came through Monday, and it was windy and it was bitterly cold, and I hated working out in it. And I'm sure the ladies didn't enjoy being out on the golf course in it. But you know what? They powered through it. They scored a 947 overall, plus 83. Harsh winds, cold temperatures on day one. Started warming up a little on day two, but the damage was already done. Um, Day one had 36 holes on it. They should have maybe switched that around and just did 18 on day one and 36 on day two, but it is what it is. Um, they improved 20 strokes from first to second round, so that's a good thing. The wind started dying down, then closed with a 6-stroke improvement on the final day. Matsueda was the team's top finisher for the second straight tournament, tying for 18th at 230 plus 14. Junior Jillian Hugh fired the team's best round of the week, shooting a 73 on the final day at plus one. Broncos tied for the fourth best average on par fives at 5.13. And Leah Chung had 34 pars, tied for sixth in the field. All 7 teams that finished ahead of Boise State are ranked in the nation's top 50, including 3 in the top 10. Number 7, Texas. Number 9, Oklahoma. And number 10, Pepperdine. So they didn't really have a bad showing, finished 8th in Austin. Boise State hosts Idaho for the State of Idaho match held April 2nd. Broncos and Vandals will battle on Warm Springs Golf Course in Boise at 10 a.m. Teams will play 27 holes. with the match featuring 3 formats. The first 9 holes will be an alternate shot with a teammate, followed by 9 holes of 4-ball competition, and then the final 9 will be a singles match. So fun times in Boise coming for women's golf. Men's golf didn't do anything this week. They are back in action next week as well.
And whenever there's an opportunity to take down the Vandals, go Broncos, man.
Yep. The men next week, Monday and Tuesday, are in Oregon at the Oregon Duck Invitational. So
I see that Teal, Matsueda, that was her 5th top 25 of the season. So great job, Teal.
I did forget to mention this. I did see it. Pop's watching the show. Back whenever we were talking beach volleyball, he did send me a text saying if we win, we will be ranked, which is kind of what you said right after he sent that. So might be why I missed it. But right now, for women's golf, overcoming weather adversity breeds mental toughness, and I do agree, both on the golf course and at work where I had to work out in it. So good having you watching the show, Pop.
Thanks, Pop. Appreciate it, man. So since last show, gymnastics had a couple meets.
Hey, real quick, Nick, real quick. Pop, I do want to say this, Pop. You being on, and I know you're watching, but you being on the college football roundtable and making your various appearances on here, and for Bronco Nation that's interested, before the Wednesday before the Final Four, April 1st, we're doing the Final Four pour, featuring the 3-pour decision, fellas. I talked with Bourbon Man, Jason, for 3-pour decisions, to set the show structure up, got it done. And out of all the people, the 6 panel members on Bourbon Beer and Basketball, the slew of people that joined us for college football roundtable, Nick and I here on Bronco Nation Live, the one person that he called out by name as being the most fun to watch was Pop, and you're Pop Off. So don't you ever say you don't have any fans and that you don't need to be on our shows, because people tune in just for you. And he asked if you were going to be. He asked if you were going to be on the Final Four show. So I'm gonna have to find a way to get you on that show, Pop. You're stuck in a life of fame now. Sorry, Nick. You can go. Sam just popped off. Thanks, Pop. You've rubbed off on me.
No, we love Pop, and our shows wouldn't be what they are without him. Especially even when he's not on there, he contributes in some sort of way, and that's awesome. He's one of my favorites too. So he's a superstar when it comes to this content that we're pushing out there. So thank you, Pop. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support that you always give, and I'm sure there has to be some way they can pop off when it comes to money.
Yeah,
college money.
Right. Don't get him started. He's going to call me on the phone. We have to put him on speakerphone. We're going to have to listen to him for 30 minutes.
All right. So, again, gymnastics, since last Thursday, they had a couple meets. The regular season came to an end. Last Friday on senior night, they took on Southern Utah for their final regular home meet. And that was on Friday the 13th. And they defeated Southern Utah 196.279 to 195.850. So there's nothing unlucky about Friday the 13th. My daughter was born on Friday the 13th, and she was a blessing to my life. So I think it's just I actually like Friday the 13th, and it was good to Bronco Nation last Friday. So Boise State closed the home slate with one of the best balanced performance of the season, matching its season high team score, again, of 196.275. Meet highlights, they had a season best on bar. It's almost like a broken record. They keep pushing these season highs, and that's good. That's good that they're going into the end of the season continuing to elevate themselves. On the bars, you saw Noelle Bell and Malia Werline with their career best, 9.9. And then Christina Shenikova, another solid performance on bars. She finished right behind them with a 9.875. On the beam, you had Sydney Coe and Sydney Whipple and Christina Shenikova, each with 9.850. And all of these people, Noelle Ball and Malia Werline, they were co-champions. And then with the beam, these three athletes, they were co-champions. And then on the floor, they had a overall score of 49.275, and that was capped off by veteran leadership late in the lineup, like Blake Pascal and others. So when it comes to hitting team season best numbers on a senior night, with that emotion and execution finally lining up, good things are about to happen. But then they took that emotional high after senior night, and they traveled to Berkeley, or no, they traveled to Stanford to take on number 10 Stanford in the regular season finale. Although they fell, they did have a strong showing. They fell to Stanford 195.400 to 197.775. Despite the loss, Boise State delivered multiple career best individual performances against one of the nation's top teams. Blake Pascal, the senior, she posted a career high 9.925 on the floor, and that tied for that. When she posted that, I'm like, oh, she's going to be the champion. But we're talking about Stanford, and that even at 9.925, that tied for second overall, but that did garner her the honor of Mountain West Floor Specialist of the Week for Blake. So congratulations, Blake. Awesome job. Sydney Coe posted another career best on the beam at 9.9. Malia Werline is continuing to making strides and solid performances. She got a 9.850 on bars, marking her fifth straight meet of 9.85 and above. And then Christina Shenikova, she's just coming into her groove like we thought she would. She posted 9.850 both on bars and on the floor, putting her at 5 straight routines of that score and above in the last 6 meets. So she's rolling. So the team scores by event were on the bars. They posted a 48.925, vault 48.850, floor 49.250, and on the beam 48.375. So solid job against a top 10 team in the nation. So the regular season, they hit season highs twice of 196.279. Coming into that Stanford, they hit that twice. So I think that they're really primed to do a showing. And that brings us to this weekend's Mountain West Gymnastics Championship preview. So we've talked about this team. They've been young. They finished the conference with a record of 2-4, tied with San Jose State. Utah State and Air Force shared the regular season title at 4-2. So unfortunately, the Broncos weren't able to defend their back-to-back regular season championships, but they do host the conference championship on Saturday at the X, and that's going to be the only show in town. So, no, it won't be the only show in town. They are sharing that with softball, so you can pick your poison. Go, and if you can make both, great. I believe softball will probably be during the day, and I think the championship is at 6:00, if I'm not mistaken. but they are coming off the two straight 196.275 level performances. So they are showing a peak across both as a team and individuals across three apparatuses. And if you look at the scores from all four of these teams in conference, it's not surprising that Utah State and Air Force are showing an edge over both Boise State and San Jose State, but it's very slim between the regular season champions and Boise State. And so you would think that having the blessing of hosting this at home would give them a good advantage. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah. Home mat advantage is always good. I will say this, and not a lot of people know this, but Pop just reminded me that I'll pull his text up here real quick. He is back in his youth and even on into his older years was really, really good on the beam. And it's not something that I really talk about much. Jim beam. He's good on Jim beam. My bad.
I saw that coming from a mile away, man. Bet you he was posting some perfect scores on the beam.
Yep. But yes, home mat advantage I think is a good thing. They didn't do too well in one of the quads that I watched at home, but I think they won one out of the two other one, or one out of the three. I don't know. I really, to be 100% honest, I have not had time to sit down and watch a gymnastics meet from start to finish like I did the first couples here lately. But I do know that at any given time, any one of the ladies can bust off for a career best, and really, I'm still looking for that perfect 10. To be honest with you, I know it's out there. I know this group can do it. And I look at it, go, oh yeah, that's got to be one. And then they come out with a 9.725. I'm like, are you kidding me? That was a 10 all day. You try and do that. but yeah, just show up and be loud. Be loud for the ladies. Be loud for the distract the opponents. However that works. I've never been to a gymnastics meet, but still, show up, be loud, be proud. Let's bring it home.
Yeah, the last perfect 10s that the Broncos had was from one of our guests on a Bronco Talk, Emlo. She got a 10 on bars in the regionals, I believe. And then Courtney Blackson did too in the same regionals. And in fact, I just saw a spotlight article, a national one in the gymnastics world on Courtney, because she graduated, she started coaching, and then she got the itch, and she had one more year of eligibility. LSU came knocking. They actually found her while she was on the job coaching, and she goes, you know what, I'm gonna go, and she's killing it this year. So she'll probably be back in the regionals. It's possible. I think out of the squad that we have, it wouldn't surprise me if Christina Shenikova does it. Sydney Whipple, the freshman, she's been doing awesome on the beam. I think she has potential. She might have one in her. She definitely lights it up when she's on the beam. She's like, there's a distinct difference when you see her in the rest of the field. Not comparing her to our Broncos, but like the competition. There's and she's already nabbed a co-freshman of the week this season. So, and then also, you can't forget Blake Blake Pascal. She's been solid on the floor routine, and so, and she just got a 9.925. So I think she's got it in her too. So, and they're trending in the right direction. So, looking forward to seeing what they do on Saturday night. Yep. Then we got Boise State football. The 2026 Pro Day is coming on Tuesday, the 24th at the Cabin Williams complex and the Blaymire Football Center. And, you're going to have.
Hey, Nick, before we jump into Pro Day, Pop has a question. As far as home mat advantage, does judge bias play a role?
I think we saw that. I think we saw something like that when it was a home. Was it?
Yeah, was it San Jose State and
it was Air Force.
Yeah.
And technically you shouldn't, but I think we saw that when our Broncos were on the road. So maybe it's a good thing they're at home. I don't know.
Right.
I try not to be controversial here, but I hope so. I hope it's home bias. But I don't know. But I do know that it's gymnastics is a little bit different from our traditional sports like basketball and football. You're making noise and trying to distract the other team. I think for gymnastics, just the energy that the home crowd gives the team, I think that fuels them and feeds them. And I think it's kind of a different animal. So that's the kind of atmosphere that they're looking for, is that just that support, because it's so technical and so mental in that. And I think that would play part to the opposition when they see that the home team has great support. Then that might work against their mental game on that. So so that's what we're looking for. We're looking to pack the X with the home crowd, and maybe that'll persuade the judges to give some of these athletes some 10s, but only for the Broncos.
All right. So back to Pro Day.
Yep, Pro Day is coming. That means the draft's just pretty close.
Right around the corner.
Yep. But yeah, that'll take Pro Day takes on Tuesday, March 24th from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time at the Blaymire Football Center. That's probably where they're going to be doing the bench. And then I have all the the 40 and all the skills tests and all that. I've got a list of participants here. We've got Trell Cables, wide receiver, probably the most notable that has the best chance to be drafted is Casey, offensive lineman. Got Jeremiah Irby, DB. Braxton Feely, defensive line. Mason Hutton, long snapper. He may have, I think he's going to have a good career in the NFL. Mason Hutton, like I said, Mason Hutton. Matt Lauder, Marion McCoy. I don't know what he's going to do much because of the surgery, the off-season surgery, probably just the interviews and stuff like that. Marco Notarini, Mason Randolph, Jarrett Reeser, kicker, Malik Sherrod, running back, Deion Washington, defensive lineman, Zion Washington, DB, Malachi Williams, defensive line, edge, Jonah Dalmas, he's going to give it another shot. Surprised that he hasn't landed anywhere. You got Herbert Gums coming back for Pro Day, Sheldon Newton coming back, and then you got a couple in-state. You got Tyson Nunley, wide receiver from Idaho State, and Mike Shulikov, wide receiver from Idaho State. And then you have Keanu Mialoto, defensive lineman from Boise State. Don't want to forget him. But yeah, they're going to be working out. What do you think? Who do you think will, who do you think is going to get drafted? Who do you think will probably land on free agent or later in, the third day or what?
I think, like you said, Cage Casey has the best chance of being drafted. Jeremiah Irby could be a late draft pick there, as well as Braxton Feely. I think size is going to be Feely's downfall, though. They may try and convert him to an edge, maybe a linebacker, but I doubt it. I think his size is going to be his downfall. Uh, Matt Lauder at tight end, he probably have the most to prove, considering he wasn't used as much his senior year as what he was in the past, as well as Latrell Caples. I think both of them with great pro days could boost and go from a free agent to a mid to late round draft pick with great pro days. Amari McCoy, I don't know if he's going to work out that much, like you said, but it'd be a great opportunity for him to show that he's back from his injuries and ready to roll. So I can't imagine him be listed as a participant, but only do the interviews. Uh, but it is what it is. I really think he can improve. Maybe not get into a draft worthy situation, but maybe improve his stock as far as which teams are actually going to go after him in free agency.
Yeah,
The
I,
the
I
Washington.
think
Yep.
I think Marion has a lot going for him with what he did in the season.
Yeah.
I think this will be a nice opportunity for them to get to know him personally, and yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of interest in him. Free agent wise, I'm hoping that somebody takes a chance at him later in the rounds and does, because I think he put a lot of work in to his craft. He had an awesome season that shouldn't go unnoticed.
Yeah. The Washingtons, just because I like saying Washingtons. It's kind of crazy. Their names is just one off. You got the D Washington, Z Washington, Dion
Uh,
Zion. It's just I don't know why that's fascinating to me, but it is. So I look for them to have really good pro days as well, and probably boost and maybe get into that late round draft spot. So, but yeah, that's where I am. But like I said, Cage Casey's got the best to be a high draft pick, and then Irby has a shot. And um, I think Notarani is going to be he's going to be the one that's probably, as far as being the most known at Boise State, he's probably going to be the one of the farthest away from an NFL roster because of his speed. Love the guy, love what he did with Boise State. He is just not fast enough to play at the NFL level, and I don't know where you go with that. If you beef up and go to a lineman kind of thing, maybe as a some kind of a specialty edge, stack up the middle kind of deal, but he just does not have the speed for the NFL talent. So I don't know where he's going to land.
And another one that it wouldn't surprise me if they had a killer day on Tuesday, if because we talked about this preseason. Matt Lauder,
Yeah.
he was going into the last season. He was like, all right, this guy's prime for the NFL. And again, like you said, not much production, just the way things were schemed. So I'd look for him to really distinguish himself. This is his opportunity to climb up the ladder. We saw that with John Bates a few years ago. He did the same thing, and he's got a nice career with Washington. So I'm hoping the same opportunity will present itself for Matt. He's a really good guy. So I mean, and he's put in a lot of work. Always been a team player, despite not being utilized like he could have been. I think that he's put in the work that I'd love to see him be in the right position to earn his earn the opportunity to fulfill his dreams here.
Yep. And good tight ends are hard to come by in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And you got decent tight ends all over the place, but really good ones are hard to come by.
Well, as we get on, to closing this out, do you have any shout outs or anything you want to
Shout out
mention to
to
Bronco Nation
Penn.
looking at? What do you got going on?
Shout out to Penn, only losing to Illinois by 1 point right now with 15 minutes to go in the first half. No, but seriously, shout out to the upsets today. Number 12 High Point over number 5 Wisconsin, 83-82. Great game, fun game. Loved watching it. Don't tell my boss I was supposed to be at work. Texas goes from play-in game to second round, just like North Carolina did last year, beating BYU 79-71. TCU
Got that
knocks
right.
off Ohio. Yeah, do what?
I got that one right.
Yep. TCU knocks off Ohio State 66-64 to go on to play Duke, who had their hands full all day long with Siena and ended up pulling it out late. I was actually hoping that would have wrecked every one of my brackets, but it would have given me more points in our bracket challenge that we have going on. For those of you that don't know, Nick and I are part of Bourbon Beer and Basketball, and we did something different this year with the mid majors and below. We took every single non P4 conference, threw them in a draft field, let ChatGPT predict our draft order, and then we went in and picked each team or each conference, followed those conferences. Then we picked teams out of those conferences. If that team won your championship, you got a point. If they won the conference tournament, they got a point. If they made the NCAA tournament as an at-large, you got a point. And then each win, you get a point after that. And then 13 through 16, your points double. And right now, Nick, you are tied for fourth with Jonathan Yates with 5 points. And you still have UConn, St. John's, and what's the other one? Villanova. So Josh is really hoping that Villanova doesn't win that one against Utah State because he needs points as well. He's in last place with 4. Casey, 9 points in first place with High Point winning today. And then Dominic, I'm at second place with 8 points. Siena's the only team. And of course, St. Mary's just lost. So, boo. Anyway, so yeah, basically, I'm in second place there. You're tied for fourth, and you need some help with your Big East schools, CBU and Long Island. But yeah, if you want to know more in depth of what we got going on, Bourbon Beer and Basketball every Wednesday night through the end of tournament season, 7:30 Central Time, 6:30 Mountain Time, right here, Bronco Nation Updates, YouTube. And remember, you don't have the money to help with NIL yourself, comment, like, subscribe, share, do it all, and then watch the show. 4,000 watch hours yearly is what we need, and 1,000 subscribers, and we get to fully monetize. When that happens, all of that money goes to Boise State, and you helped NIL without having to put a dime in the game.
So thanks for everyone who got into the brackets. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I enjoy it. Even if I don't win, I enjoy seeing all this stuff kind of playing out and people stressing out. And I'm just sitting here just loving it. And I don't care if I win or lose. It's just the thrill of the love of sports. And so for all of you guys that got in on the brackets, thank you. Appreciate you. And well, that's going to do it for this week's Bronco Nation Live. Thanks for tuning in for the show. It's a privilege for me to serve you. So please go subscribe to the Bronco Nation Updates YouTube channel for all your Boise State updates and recruiting news. We'll see you next time. Take care. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Every child deserves a chance to shine. Boise State's legendary running back and current Miami Dolphin Alexander Madison's I Am Gifted Foundation empowers family through education, mentorship, and community programs. Their dedicated team of educators and advocates help children unlock their potential. Support I Am Gifted and be a part of building brighter futures today. Visit IamGiftedFoundation.org to get involved.